Ayo guys, if you haven't watched my video about Persona 5 Royal, the game I guess you can say, you should check that out first. But if you haven't, I'm still gonna say you should play it first. But that video will help convince you even more to play Persona 5 Royal. And I also warn you in that video of something that I messed up on, and I don't want you to mess up on it because you're gonna miss a big portion of the game. So go check that out if you haven't played Persona 5 Royal or plan to play it. But let's jump right into it. I know that this isn't the first video about Persona 5, the animation, and you know if it's worth watching or not. But it won't be, and I'm gonna try not to be so negative about it, but I will be critical on it. Should you watch Persona 5 the animation? The bigger question is, have you played the game or are you watching this to not play the game? Really important here. If you've played and beat, or if you're in the middle of playing Persona 5, I would say that this is a really decent companion to the game. If you don't mind going through the story again, of course, which I'm pretty sure you won't mind, because why else would you be wanting to watch the animation? And that's the reason why I wanted to watch Persona 5 animation in the first place. I wanted a recap of everything that I had experienced so far in the game. Sure, you can go over the story again in the game, but I've actually never checked that feature out. I don't know if it's just text or they actually play recaps of the cutscenes, but if it's text, who the hell wants to read? Just replay it in the anime, you know? And then watching the anime is a nice way of reflecting on the story so far in the game, because Persona 5 has so much to do in the game that you can get so lost in it and then just lost a sense of what's going on in the story. Sure, in the game I just took down some corrupt asshole, but in reality, in my mind, all that I'm thinking about is simping over Dr. Takumi. Yes, I'm still with this. But are you trying to avoid playing the game and use this as an alternative to experience Persona 5? Nah, don't do that. The biggest issue with the anime is the pacing. It moves along really fast, and Persona 5 is a game about taking your time day to day, literally. The battles aren't even full-fledged fights here, so if you're coming from the game thinking, oh, I want to see some of these RPG battles play out in an anime, don't be expecting too much here because it's not that great either. If we can seriously break down the game into an anime, it does too much. It has school life like a slice of life, it has the metaverse that could be similar to an isekai, and of course the personas are always compared to but unfortunately, the anime does not take enough time to get any of these right. The school life has like little to no focus on it. The isekai, well, isekai is always trash, so it got that right?
What did you say?
I'm just playing. It does it okay. I mean, it doesn't do a good job of explaining everything like the game does. And the Persona JoJo stands? Nah, they just get that hella wrong. It's a comparison, but not a fair comparison, but we have the blueprints to make awesome looking fights, but they don't do that in the Persona 5 animation. And then the animation here is just decent. They're not the beautiful animated scenes from the game, because every time the game showed off those beautiful scenes, I wish the whole game had these animated cutscenes every time. Persona 5 had a bunch of cutscenes. They had the in-game graphic cutscenes, and then they had the more polished CGI cutscenes, but nothing compared to the animated cutscenes. Those just looked great every time. Those cutscenes were the reason why I even checked out the anime in the first place, but don't come expecting those beautiful cutscenes. Right here, the animation is good, it's not bad, but don't expect the same quality like the game. And then finally, the worst part about the show is the pacing. The pacing is terrible. I won't sugarcoat it. Yes, I'm here to say that P58 works as a good companion to the game, but only that. Because if you're gonna watch this to watch a good anime, you're gonna be a little disappointed because it goes by too fast and only really works as a recap. So please do not try to cheat the game and think that you can get the Persona 5 video game experience with the anime, because you won't get that. And if anything, you might leave the show thinking that Persona 5 is probably not even that good. And yes, I've dragged the anime, but would I still recommend it? If you're a fan, yes. As a fan of Persona 5 and knowing that it's a long game, I would love to experience this in a condensed manner, which the anime does. Yes, it's a downgrade, but not everyone has time to play a video game that offers over 100 hours of gameplay. And while yes, I do recommend watching the anime, I don't recommend it as a standalone anime, but to always be accompanied with the game. You should play the game, play a couple palaces, and maybe watch the anime for a recap, because maybe you might have missed something, especially when you're about to beat the game, because it's probably been weeks since you started the game because it's so long, and this makes for a perfect recap that leads to all the events that leads to this climax. So it's not all bad here, but for sure don't think that you can cheat the game and watch this. The game is that great, so you should play it. This is just a decent way of getting a recap of the whole story. And before the video ends, one more time, if you guys are planning on playing Persona 5 Royal, please check out my video. It will save you some time from messing up like how I did. So don't forget to hit this video with a like. Also subscribe if you want to watch more content from me, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Thanks for watching, I appreciate you. What are you waiting for? Click on the link to watch more videos.